peux partir là-bas, mais rien ne t'éloigne jamais de ce que tu aimes, de ce que tu es.
Over the last 100 years, fashion has changed a lot more for women than it has for men. While a man's suit from, say, the 1910s or 1920s might look a little bit out of place today, it wouldn't be hugely so. Definitely a lot less than a lawn dress and bloomers and granny boots, although granny boots are definitely making a comeback, which I love. And so the question of what to wear and that exclamation while facing one's closet, I have nothing to wear, is a lot more common among women. All of the above and then some is addressed by a wonderful series of books by BBC's host of What Not to Wear, Trinny, Woodall, and Susannah, Constantine. And one of the things that I really love, first of all, I have a huge respect for the authors. They're both working women. They're both working moms. Yes, as popular show hosts, yes, they have access to resources, clothes, and money that regular women don't. But that's not where they started. They didn't just get there, you know, overnight. It was a journey of decades. And so that part is very attractive to me because they carried with them into their fame, they carried with them the memory and the understanding of what it's like to be just a regular working woman trying to make her way in the world, especially trying to make her way in a very male-dominated profession. Because as you recall, for a while, television was not necessarily for women. It was serious television or interesting television was mostly for men. The books were written in kind of this very logical series, starting from the first What Not to Wear book, which addresses various challenges presented by our bodies. It has to start with that cringe-inducing exercise of standing naked or in your underwear in front of the full-length mirror, because you have to understand what you look like, really. You know, any clothes we wear, they mask bits and pieces of our bodies, and in order to figure out what looks best on us, we have to assess what's there to begin with. We have to assess the foundation before building the house. And so the first What Not to Wear book looks at these various challenges. What if, for example, a woman has big breasts? Large-chested girls, you know how hard it is to find something that fits your top and your waist and your bottom. Flat-chested girls, a whole different kinds of issues. Girls with thick middle, the girls with short legs, long legs, high butt, low butt, that type of stuff. And so they look at all of that and they pick out what they call the capsule wardrobe for you, picking out a t-shirt, a sweater, a blouse, a dress, a coat, and a pair of pants. And I think there was something else, but it sort of eludes me right now. Oh, and a skirt. So perfect 7 garments that flatter the shape you already have. They're just basically working with what's already there. One of the points they constantly keep hammering in is, please, please, please forget the fads. Just because it looks good on the runway, just because it looks good in a magazine, just because it looks good on a model in a catalog, doesn't mean it's going to look good on everybody. Work with what you have and stick to the classics. The second book, What's Not to Wear for Every Occasion, addresses the I have nothing to wear issue. They talk about a variety of occasions, from job interview to being on the job to being on vacation, to determine what you can pack without having to drag your entire house and kitchen sink with you. And while you may disagree with some of the choices, you can still see how they're trying to steer you away from things that are considered appropriate and traditional by someone else and getting you into something that rather suits you and the occasion and your personality. The third book was interesting for me because there were a lot of aha moments there for me. It's called What You Wear Can Change Your Life. And it addresses some of the issues that arise as we change, as our bodies change, as our tastes change. It talks about culling, getting stuff that you no longer wear out of your wardrobe, regardless of the sentimental value, regardless of how soon or not soon you might think you might lose those 20 pounds. It talks about accessories, not overdoing it. It talks about packing for travel, which is actually a fantastic thing. I love to travel, and I'm a pretty economic traveler. I usually travel with one rollerboard bag and one handbag, and I found out some things that I didn't know about or just didn't think about. It also covers a very important chapter for women, dressing when you're pregnant. And still looking good and being comfortable at the same time. And again, those ladies both have children, so it's not like they haven't been there. They know what they're talking about. The last but not the least is my favorite because it's a book that addresses some of the style issues that are unique to American women. And the title of the book, What You Wear, What Your Clothes Say About You, Trinny and Susannah Take on America. So it's kind of a longish title. It is a very fun book, but it may be difficult to read for some. I guarantee you that, because in the 12 archetypes described in the book, you may actually recognize yourself. Not entirely. They definitely, and they admit it in the introduction to the book, they took it to the extreme. The slob, they took her to the extreme, that person who is constantly stuck in sweats and a sweatshirt. The girl who dresses like a slut, they took her to the extreme. The busy mom, they took her to the extreme. So it may not be quite so bad, but it was definitely the first book that I have ever read that addresses what I call the psychology of fashion, or lack thereof. The lack of fashion, not the lack of psychology. Because it addresses some things that might be going in our minds, in our lives, that keep us from looking the best we can be. And from that standpoint, it's both a difficult journey and also a fun one, because throughout the book, they're trying to emphasize that you're not alone in this, you don't have to look like crap, and you have support. And the advice they give is very sound. They don't suggest that you rush to the salon and have like a 6-hour-long makeover. They understand that women don't have a team of stylists following them day in and day out. So they do address those things, and they do understand our time constraints, our jobs, our children, our careers, our homes, and so on and so forth. And so they try to approach their advice from that standpoint and make sure that we continue looking good and keeping on with our schedules and not throwing money out on designer labels and so on and so forth. I have read that book so many times, I actually need it rebound because I have pages falling out of it. And I have mentored other women pretty successfully using the materials that I have read in that book and the ideas from the previous books as well. So 4 of them: What Not to Wear, What Not to Wear To for Every Occasion, What You Wear Can Change Your Life, and What Your Clothes Say About You by Trinny, Woodall, and Susannah Constantine. You can get them through pretty much all the regular bookstores, and the links to get your copy today are available below as usual. Until we meet again, this is Marie K, Ms. Review Central. Bye.
Tu es comme ça, fier et libre. Tu peux partir là-bas, mais rien ne t'éloigne jamais de ce que tu aimes, de ce que tu es. Tu es comme